WNBA free agency has been a whirlwind, but it seems to be giving us a day to calm down. Most of the big free agents have found homes, but there is one question that I just cannot get out of my head, and that is, what the heck is going on with Chennedy Carter?
Chennedy Carter just committed career suicide on national television.
Chennedy Carter's WNBA career is in ruins as a result of her startling collision with Caitlin Clark. One general manager who saw the Indiana game event claims that Carter has become indestructible in the NBA. This occasion signifies the end of a challenging career path. Carter, who was formerly thought to be a gifted athlete, has a troubled past. From almost getting into a fight with her Atlanta colleagues to her historic departure from the LA Sparks, who paid her $90,000 to let her go, what actually transpired behind the scenes that turned a player with such promise from a prospect to a pariah? How did she fall so precipitously? Conflict was inevitable throughout Carter's WNBA tenure. Basketball history will never forget the moment that rocked everyone watching the Chicago Sky vs. Indiana Fever game. Chennedy Carter may have ended her own career with a single, snap decision that shocked the basketball community. As the Fever made a resurgence, the arena was filled with a throbbing energy. The Chicago audience is trembling as they move in their seats. With seasoned accuracy, Caitlin Clark directed plays, locating Aaliyah Boston for pivotal baskets. Every successful possession is punctuated by the squeal of trainers. Carter became violently irritated, rolling her eyes and grumbling to herself every minute that goes by. Her protective posture gets more fierce.
Quarter, Caitlin Clark running things. 8 assists, 15 points in the first half. Looking to add to her tally. Ooh, look out.
Then it took place. Carter gave Clark a full-force shove that left the rookie phenom crashing to the court without any basketball-related justification, no loose ball to fight for, and no chance to protest. Avery.
Mabry doubled off to Carter. Her jumper is good. Chennedy Carter now with 12 points off the bench. And then the lay from Boston as the officials are going to take a look at what just transpired.
Suddenly, the arena went from wild mayhem to eerie quiet. That unsettling silence when 15,000 individuals hold their breath at once. A WNBA scout who saw the game remarked, "I've never seen anything like it. In all my years evaluating talent, that was one of the most blatant non-basketball plays I've ever witnessed, and it crossed every line."
And Clark. I mean, that's clearly a foul, which was called. The question is, will they call it unnecessary? Chennedy Carter.
The fact that this particular moment was completely unneeded set it apart from other physical play. Clark was not making a move with the ball, setting a strong screen, or turning to face Carter. Anger had erupted into something repulsive and possibly hazardous. The type of behavior that, when shown in replays, makes league executives wince.
We now have Rebecca Lobo joining us, and you were on the call for this one. And the moment I saw the play happen, Rebecca, I knew the internet would literally catch fire because it would feed a dangerous narrative for the women's game, and here we are.
The broadcast symbolism struck a chord. When the WNBA's newest star brought the league unprecedented attention, one established player targeted the rookie wonder with a physical message, and it backfired horribly.
The words that came out of her mouth right before what happened kind of made this a little uncalled for. I mean, a little is understated.
The league's response was prompt and unusually straightforward. Within hours, they described the foul as needless and careless. In the carefully phrased world of professional athletics, this really meant that it was totally unacceptable. Despite not having a formal WNBA ban for pushing Clark, Carter's actions had the same effect, and no team has expressed interest in signing her. Of the 12 franchises, none have even proposed a trial workout. The quiet says a lot.
I can pretty much guarantee that you won't receive a single question from the American media because it appears that you have been banned from the WNBA dump.
The seriousness of the incident was made clear by the Chicago Sky response. They instantly removed themselves, no defense, no handling this inside, just a swift distancing in a league where talent generally given several opportunities despite issues. This decisive decision highlighted how the company viewed what happened.
When Tyler Marsh did the press conference, he talked about Angel Reese, he talked about Cardoso, who I think is going to be a star in the WNBA, but he did not really mention Chennedy Carter at all, and that raised a lot of eyebrows.
Carter's teammates stayed unusually silent afterward. In post-game interviews, nobody stood up for her or made the usual hurried justifications. The locker room had been uncomfortable around Carter for weeks, according to team insiders who asked to remain anonymous. Most tellingly, close friend and teammate Angel Reese, who had previously publicly supported Carter, unfollowed her on social media within hours after the incident. Everyone was merely anticipating an event. As the stress increased, one employee clarified, the Clark event finally made it hard to ignore.
And I don't know if you've ever noticed her social media post, but she's very me. Oh, so I think it's going to be interesting what's going to happen.
Carter wasn't instantly made famous by that viral event. The Caitlin Clark event was stunning, but it was also the last scene of a lengthy drama that had been going on since her freshman season. Watch to find out why the Los Angeles Sparks paid Carter $90,000 to leave their squad. Let's go back to the beginning of the tape. Chennedy Carter was chosen by the Atlanta Dream with the 4th overall pick in the 2019 WNBA draft in the hopes that she would establish herself as a key member of the team. A scoring machine driven by unwavering confidence and exceptional athleticism.
With the 4th pick in the 2020 WNBA draft, the Atlanta Dream select Chennedy Carter from Texas A&M.
However, Carter's stay in Atlanta took a drastic turn. Her bright beginning came to an end after a heated argument in the locker room that almost descended into violence, not only with anyone but also with her normally calm and unflappable teammate Courtney Williams.
Now, I don't know what Courtney Williams is like when she is not in a good mood, although there was one game between the Lynx and the Sun that got so chippy. Even Nafisa Collier got mad, which, Nafisa Collier seems to keep her composure so often, but there was something going on with Courtney Williams. But, on-court stuff, like, everyone gets a little chippy every once in a while. But Courtney Williams, especially lately in her W career, has been, and in Unrivaled, has been such a ray of sunshine. So for Chennedy Carter to have an altercation with Courtney Williams is very interesting.
Because of that incident, Carter received an indefinite suspension. Most athletes would use an incident like this as a wake-up call to think and develop, but Carter brought these same problems to the Los Angeles Sparks. She reportedly repeatedly interrupted coaches during a team filming session, dismissing their tactical suggestions with the words, "That's not going to work," before leaving the room.
And the reasoning that these Sparks were saying that she was playing less minutes was because of poor conduct.
Things got so bad that the Sparks had to make a decision that had never been done before. In the end, the Sparks paid Carter almost $90,000 to leave the team, making an incredible financial sacrifice to get rid of a disruptive presence in a league with tight pay constraints and little funding. Even at great expense, this contribution was a last-ditch effort to bring the locker room back into harmony.
None of the teams were willing to pick her up after that, so she ends up going over to Turkey, playing in Turkey.
The most intriguing aspect of Carter's path is that not a single executive, coach, or teammate has ever questioned her basketball prowess. There has always been skill. Everything else that comes with it is the issue. The complaints from every team she has joined are the same. She is challenging in the locker room, declines coaching, and puts herself before the success of the team.
She was such a spark plug, and I quickly realized that it was Chennedy Carter. She kept going back and forth to and from the bench, and I just kept waiting for her to come back in because she was the absolute most magnetic player on the court. She's listed at 5'9". I don't know why, in my memory she was 5'8", but she's listed at 5'9". Does not come across as tall whatsoever, but she has hops. She has finishing. She does not have a three-pointer, but the way that she moves, she's I don't know, she's the fastest guard in the league. I mean, Kelsey Mitchell, she's fast too, but Chennedy Carter, her style is very different and just so unguardable.
Fortunately for her, another chance presented itself, and Carter eventually signed with the Chicago Sky, her third team in as many years. For someone with her caliber of talent, that kind of turnover is practically unheard of in a league with just 12 teams and few roster spots. Teams don't simply pass up a fourth overall choice unless there are significant issues developing in the background. Following the Clark event, Carter's peers' utter silence was the most striking indication of her reputation. Not a single teammate, either present or past, defended her. Nobody mentioned it was out of character or provided character references. Even Angel Reese, who had looked to build a bond with Carter in Chicago, made her views known by unfollowing her on social media shortly after the incident.
The only coach in the league that wanted to give her a third chance was fired after 1 year. She's going nowhere as no team wants the cancer in the locker room. Okay, so that raises a great question. Is anybody going to want her?
This isn't about one shove or one moment of wasted fury. The evidence indicates a consistent tendency across three distinct organizations with three different coaching staffs and teammates, all ending the same way WNBA teams regularly work through almost any issue with talented players. They'll hire expert tutors for shooting mechanics and construct individual conditioning programs. However, they cannot put up with Carter's lack of coaching skills and causing strife in the locker room.
He gets no offer to return from the Chicago Sky, which a lot of people have been feeling by her social media posts that she got quite offended by, and she made a social media comment about how making layups is so important to the game. A lot of people thinking she was talking about Angel Reese not being able to make a layup. Some people thinking she was talking about Unrivaled not making layups, because this was when there was a game in Unrivaled where everyone was like breaking everything and missing everything. But just seeing how Chennedy Carter was reacting to this on social media, it did make me think, okay, I actually don't know if this person is okay.
No one skill can survive becoming a detrimental factor in that ecology, and basketball lives on teamwork. According to a WNBA executive, talent opens doors, but professionalism keeps them open. Carter has repeatedly closed those doors at every opportunity.
I mean, she can score. She can score with the lights out. I mean, she can. She's pure offense, a pure shooting guard, scoring guard, an instant offense. But if you're a team, do you really want her on the team? I wouldn't.
Although toxic personalities are no longer tolerated in the league due to its expansion, Carter still had one final opportunity to save her career. After the Clark incident, Carter faced a pivotal moment that would decide her future in professional basketball, and her response left the entire basketball community in complete shock. What happens when a player with undeniable talent turns down the one thing that could save them? During that news conference, Carter had the ideal chance to turn everything around with 30 seconds of sincere regret. Those 30 seconds now felt like a life raft that she watched float away. Rather than responding to reporters' direct inquiries about what transpired with Clark Carter, she shut down entirely. She was clearly irritated that reporters would even inquire about the most talked about event in women's basketball that week.
Play before bumping in with Caitlin, it seemed like she turned to you a little bit after the Fever score.
Real-time career suicide. Carter's dismissive attitude revealed everything. Her complete lack of accountability spoke volumes for the cameras. She was unable to even pretend to feel regret. All of the league's team executives observed and made mental notes. Her name was permanently removed off the prospective roster list.
That's no problem. It's all good. You don't have to answer any questions about Caitlin Clark. I would hate to disregard the wishes of a star of this magnitude. Over the next few months, I can pretty much guarantee that you won't receive a single question about Caitlin Clark. Matter of fact, I can pretty much guarantee that you won't receive a single question from the American media, because it appears that you have been banned from the WNBA dump.
In a 5-minute news conference, has any player in recent WNBA history done so much harm to their own reputation? Carter's haughtiness validated what teams had always dreaded. This was not a person who would grow from errors. This individual would not develop professionally. This was someone who claimed the rules simply didn't apply to them.
He regrets not addressing.
She couldn't have come at a worse moment. The WNBA is expanding at a rate never seen before, drawing in new sponsors, fans, and media interest. Teams look for ambassadors who embody the polished image the league has cultivated. Carter's disobedience contrasts sharply with all that the WNBA stands for in 2024. The entire story was revealed in the Chicago Sky response. Complete quiet no-trade attempts, coach defense, or player support recently cut off contact talent in professional sports typically buys several opportunities. Usually, teams take advantage of talented players. Carter wasn't radioactive this time.
I mean, good luck. Good luck. I don't know who's going to take her. I don't know what teams are going to take her. No, I don't think she's going to the Indiana Fever. I mean, yeah, bring her in after what happened. I don't think so.
When a team abandons talent without attempting to recover any worth, it indicates that the situation was irreparable. A league source stated, "The Sky determined Carter's presence was so toxic that getting nothing in return was better than keeping her one day longer." What follows for a person with Carter's skill set? In a league where roster spots are limited, her combination of on-court incidents and off-court accountability issues has made her untouchable. Normally, another team would take a chance on rehabilitation, but the anonymous general manager's remark about not touching her with a 10-foot pole reflected true sentiment throughout the league. Her news conference behavior, which shown that she had learned nothing after leaving 4 WNBA teams in 5 years, was the most revealing. Despite this, she was still unable to understand that accountability is important. Like clockwork, the pattern was repeated. Attitude overshadows talent, and lack of professionalism can erode potential.
And no team is going to be picking her up, whether it be on a maximum or a minimum. I don't even know. Maybe a team was looking for her. She wouldn't play for less than a max because she'll get a max contract in Mexico, which could be the case. But yeah, it appears that she's pulling a Liz Cambage. She's pulling Liz Cambage, one of the ultra-talented players that is gone out of the league. Like way too soon.
The tragedy rests in how avoidable this all was. Carter's scoring abilities, creating skills, and defensive prowess should have guaranteed a long, successful career rather. A basic weakness that has probably prevented her from playing basketball at the greatest level is her incapacity to demonstrate accountability. She has extinguished her own light, much like a star that shines too hot. Chennedy, just like that, Carter's WNBA career seems to be coming to an end. Executives won't risk anything on any player since the WNBA in 2024 has created something unique with record attendance at venues and expanding sponsorships. The message is unambiguous. Talent is no longer enough to save you. Carter's choice sealed her doom from the courtroom shove to that devastating press conference. Her narrative will serve as the ultimate warning tale for years to come during rookie orientations. A bright career that was ruined by decisions rather than an injury. Will this be Carter's last chapter, or is there still hope for redemption?